Hello and welcome to part 1 of Let's Play Pokemon Fire Red. Yes, I'm doing a second Pokemon Let's Play, and as you've noticed from the title, this one is also a Nuzlocke run. I'll be using more or less the same rules that I used in my Emerald Nuzlocke run. If you haven't watched that, check it out. It's 51 parts. I think it totals about 18 hours of me rambling while killing innocent creatures. I've done Fire Red this time, partially because it's one of the Game Boy Advance games, which are just so much easier to emulate than everything else, and also because it's a remake of the version that I always used to play, Red. We start off with this incredibly pointless controls, education thing, with a very fun phrase: the various buttons will be explained in their order of importance. The moving, the confirming, the exit, the start, select, and L and R. No Pokemon games before this set, and none after it, used any of this intro stuff. All of them start around here, but in the menu that you'll get when you continue games. The problem with this one setup is that because I don't start at that menu, I don't get to set the text speed before going through the game. So it's going to painfully slowly just roll across my screen. Oh, that's a Nidoran female. The Pokemon we saw in the opening cinematic were, of course, a Gengar and a Nidorino. And then, of course, Charizard was the title screen Pokemon there. This being Fire Red, not its counterpart, Leaf Green. The reason I chose Fire Red is because I used to own Red version and my brother had Blue. So, just sort of staying with what I know. I'm playing with a girl trainer just so that we look at a slightly different sprite this time, and she is going to be called Lily. Hopefully Lily has one L, well, two L's, but one in each occasion, otherwise I will look very silly. I don't care what people think the game rival is, but he's Gary fucking Oak. Gary motherfucking Oak, if you prefer. Pardon my French. We start as we mean to go on. So I'm going with Fire Red because I used to play Red version. I've played Fire Red and Leaf Green like a total of once between them two before this. So I know some of the painful things I'm in for. I'm not going to be able to run until I beat the first goddamn gym. And there's just going to be a lot of silly items we get given in these games that you will never see in any of the others. Something I do like, that I'm actually going to backtrack very briefly for, is that though the GameCube was out by the time these games were, I can still play the NES. It's not the Super Nintendo, it is the Nintendo Entertainment System, ladies and gentlemen. Set my control scheme, my text speed to fast. There we go. You may have noticed I accidentally bumped the spacebar there. There was a very brief moment of speed up. Here's our mother. All girls dream of traveling. And of course that text there is non-gender specific. So if I were to start with a boy trainer and spoke to my mother would go, all girls dream of traveling. And that, of course, was a lie. In red and blue and yellow as well, the area where I'm standing and the other 3 pixels in this little, well, 3 blocks in this 4-block large area all had grass, but you would never encounter wild Pokemon in that grass. The area above that is where the boundary between Viridian, Pallet Town and Route 1. So you can understand why you weren't encountering Pokemon. You were still technically in the town, so they just figured we might as well take away the grass. Yeah, I know, I've lived in this world for 10 years, in-game, so I know what a Pokeball is, I know what a Pokemon is, and I know where a Pokemon goes. Not fucking rocket science. So, Oak proves that I'm his favourite not grandson, and I get to take a burning salamander. Alright, so we have a Charmander, and I'm going to name him Zippo, after a fairly fancy pants brand of lighters. Shut up. Not the most original name, but I go with what I want to go with. So Gary, of course, will take the type effective Pokemon to you. They always do. Except in Black and White, where there's 2. So the incompetent one, of course, gets the one that is weak against your Pokemon, just to sort of insult them even more. I'm sort of hoping that should Pokemon Grey exist, Cherin and Bianca's roles will be reversed. So suddenly Cherin becomes this whiny little twat who can't get anything right, and Bianca just sort of punches you in the face every time you meet her. Yet another thing we never see in any other Pokemon games, this really lame intro battle. Where, you know, Gary sort of just stands there while his grandfather tutors you, not him. Like all Pokemon games, I can lose this battle. That critical hit was painful. I'm glad I got that potion, but I should be okay. Come on, Zippo. Don't make this a really short Nuzlocke. Thank you. Ding! Red, Blue, and Black and White are the only games where you are forced to battle your rival right off the bat. The other 3 sets in the series, that being the Diamond set, the Ruby set, and the Gold set, all allow you to train your Pokemon before your first rival battle. It makes sense so that you're not, you know, more or less reduced to relying on luck entirely, but on the other hand, I quite like that this could have been, like, just 2 minutes of me rambling and that was it. So, Zippo gets fully healed, and now let's just take a quick look at his nature. He's relaxed. I don't know what that actually does to his stats. I'm sure it raises something and lowers something, but it might raise and lower the same thing, so... And here's my first encounter for this area, which unfortunately means I'm not going to be able to catch something here. Fantastic. I am hoping to get a Pidgey in this run because I like the Pidgeot line. They're cool, alright? They're impressive birds. But since this one has offended me by appearing before its time, I will murder it and sacrifice it to the great god Arceus. Or maybe Dennis. I sacrifice half a Pidgey to Arceus and half a Pidgey to Dennis, and hope that neither of them is annoyed at their offering of half a Pidgey. Half a dead level 3 Pidgey. Actually lower than an infant's level in this game. The eggs hatch at level 5 up until I believe Heart Gold and Soul Silver, at which point they become level 1. I'm not sure, it might actually be Black and White where eggs are level 1. I'm gonna actually run. Less than 10 minutes in, I'm already running from wild Pokemon. Isn't that a fantastic sign? Just because I want Zippo to be a low enough level that I don't really have to worry about him murdering potential friends. As anybody who's somebody... Yeah, that'll do. As anybody who's played these games, no, that doesn't do, knows, if I try to go here, Fatty here will just absolutely forbid you from going through here. Bullshit, it's private property, it's the fucking road. Now, we're just gonna ignore what I should do right now, that is go to the Pokemon, though you're not told, you're sort of expected to just find it. And get a potion. In the old days, the potion was sort of superimposed over that tree. You'd go to use Cut and you'd get a potion instead, but of course, since you only got Cut after at least the 3rd gym, and you weren't coming back here till you had Fly as a bare minimum, a potion was good for nothing. So we enter the Pokemon and we instantly get accosted by the cashier. That's cool, whatever. I do know Professor Oak. Give me his parcel. Run, Lily! Run! Take the parcel! So we leave again. And we jump the fence. Because fences can only be jumped one way. Expect a lot of me singing the route themes. Feel free to join in. I'm sure that most of you knows these off by heart just as well as I do. Though I'm sure only a few of you can play them on piano like I can. Oh! Only really simple versions, but hell, I learnt simple versions through the game, so... Yeah, it's killed a Pokemon. That creates a bond of trust. Side note, when I was a little kid, I always used to think that said, it's the costume Pokeball, and thought that Professor Oak just had weird hobbies. Like dressing up as a giant Pokeball and then running out into the wild and seeing if any Pokemon got curious. So here I get given a Pokedex that's as large as I am, and then don't even put it in my bag, I just sort of wear it like a Pokeball. So I get given 5, they'll tide me over for a while. And he sends children off. So that's a very clear hint that I can get a town map from Gary's sister. He doesn't have a father or a mother. I don't have a father. Though I don't get a grandfather either, so it evens out. Our 80-year-old grandfather asked you to travel the world? How lazy. It's all in good fun. So, we enter Route 1 again, Route 1. A lot of what I said in the previous run, I'm going to say again. I have forgotten almost everything I said in that. So, just, so long as you're aware that this is more or less a rerun, but with a different palette behind it. Palette Town! Oh, you knew it was coming. So, I learned my first fire attack, and of course I am dealing with the same issues that I was in the Emerald run, because it's still 3rd generation technically, which means that all my fire attacks will use my special stat, all my normal type attacks will use my physical stat. For some strange reason, all my ghost type attacks will use the physical stat. What's up with that? I mean, seriously, at this point, the only Pokemon, like, when that setup was designed, the only Pokemon that was Ghost was Ghastly to Gengar. That was it. Ghastly haunted Gengar. They had massive special attack stats. There was only one Ghost type attack, Lick, and they made it physical. Why? Actually, I can answer my own question, because back in the day there was an even split of type attacks. In the 1st generation there was something like X amount of types that were physical, and the same amount of types were special. And then there was Dragon, which only had Dragon Rage, so it didn't count as either, because Dragon Rage always dealt the same amount of damage. It always dealt 40 damage, which was great for the Dratini, your power leveling, but for the Dragonite, who you're looking for a stab type move on other than Fly, Mankey! Nice! Lady Mankey! 2. Cool. Let's just hope that neither of these two kill each other. I probably should have healed Zippo first, but what the heck, it seems to have gone fine. 2 damage? That's not encouraging. I'm gonna need you to pull your weight, Lady Mankey. Quick, tell me a name, before the Pokeball stops. I was gonna call it... No, that'll still work, actually. It'll just be slightly creepy, rather than just a funny reference to an old movie now. I'm hoping that some of you have seen Babe the Pig, otherwise now I seem like a zoophile. So let's put Babe at the front of our team. Naive nature, I believe that raises speed and lowers defense? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, raises speed, lowers defense sounds right to me. Mankeys will only know Scratch till level 5, I think, and then learn Leah on the 5th level, I believe. Yeah, no, they already know it. Never mind me. So, yeah, I caught a Mankey, that's pretty cool. Hopefully I can keep it alive long enough to evolve it, because Primates are really potent Pokemon for an in-game team. I was actually sort of fingers crossed there for a Nidoran, so that it'll become a Nido King or a Nido Queen. I don't remember which exclusive I would have gotten in this game. Of course, as always with Pokemon, they'll release 2 games simultaneously, and then a third later on. They won't do the third later on for remakes. I have to do this now. And each game will have separate exclusives that the third normally has both of. I've got 2 Pokeballs on my belt. How is it not clear that... I can't look at this Pokemon, otherwise this would count as my encounter for Viridian City. And I want to catch a water type here if I need to, because there's the little pond that I can surf or fish in. Alright, so the Weedle is in the Pokeball. I haven't actually seen it. That's cool, that's cool. I like to think that the old man does weaken it, just by sort of picking it up by its head so it can't sting him, and then punching the crap out of it. Oh yeah, real educational. And then he gives me a TV. Seriously, look at this. Look at this. A motherfucking television. That's it, I like the music. Pity it doesn't go anywhere. Anyway, moving on. I've got 2 items that are completely useless to me at this point, because every kid who was born in the 90s knows what's the town map, knows the town's layout, rather, and frankly, Teachy TV, seriously? Nice, a level 4 Lady Weedle, too! So, Babe starts scratching it. I'm kind of worried about poison. So, I'll catch it after this one, guys. No, I'll get it to the yellow and then catch it. I'll get it to the yellow, then catch it. Don't you poison. Don't you poison. Good. Thank you, Weedle. Okay, give me a name. Tell me a name. Shit. Faster! Think of something faster, you bastards! What's a name that can work for a Weedle, a Kakuna, and a Beedrill? Okay, I've got one, it's cool. Gender neutral, so that should work. I'm going to do this Let's Play assuming you've watched all of the Emerald Nuzlocke. Sting. I thought it was witty. If you haven't, just understand that I often ramble. I'm not very reliable about uploading frequently, and I will use the speed up as I see fit. 50 bucks says I'll be using it to move around long before I even get the fucking shoes, because I need to go all the way through Viridian Forest before I get those damn things. And I've got a lot of grinding ahead of me. I'll probably have to use it then too. I could go and face Gary now, but I would be curb stomped. I think he has a level 9 Pidgey and a level 10 starter. I might be slightly off on the numbers there, but those are his Pokemon at this point. As everyone and their mother knows, I would face him by just going to the left. I suppose that's the right there. If you lifted up your left arm, it would be that direction. Yeah, you get it. You get it. Alright, Rattata. Cool. I'm just gonna grind Babe and Sting for the rest of this part, I think. Just cause. What else should I mention? I thought about doing a 6 Pokemon only rule. That is something where if your team is full, if you have 6 Pokemon, you can't catch any more, so you don't have any backups. But you still eliminate routes as you pass through them. So it makes it more difficult, and for someone who's very good at losing their Pokemon, hello, anyone remember Moss Deep Gym? I do. It's a bad idea to play by that rule. I was playing by that rule on a Platinum Nuzlocke that I was going to turn into a story run, but then I wiped on Giratina. I was trying to catch it, and for some reason I was using Pokeballs. Oh shit! Sting can do it. Wow, babe, that was fast. It's only level 3. How come it was doing so much damage? Oh well. I'll finish this part by mentioning something I've decided to do. Every part I upload, as you'll have noticed in the description of this one probably, will have a short story segment detailing what the character does in the part. I did this sort of just as a way to make this more fun for me, But I decided to throw a few stipulations into the story, and if you've read the part that's already up, you'll probably have noticed them. I'm not using the name of my main character or any of my Pokemon. I'm just referring to them as, you know, he, she, it, them, they. General standard terms that can be used to refer to individuals or groups without any specificity. Specificity. I'll be uploading this run to YouTube and then posting each part with a small notation on the Nuzlocke forums if you're interested. My name there is Amila, same as my name bloody everywhere. But I thought I'd make this a little bit of a challenge. I don't really want to accept people's names for Pokemon anymore. That was fun, and it was cool to see what names you guys came up with, but at the same time it also meant I sort of had to pick. And I had to come up with, like, fair ways to let you vote names, and I wasn't very good at being fair. So instead, what I'm going to do is you can feel free to remake the story that I put up. You have to follow the same rules, so no names and no dialogue for the main characters. All dialogue has to be what NPCs say. You can post that as a comment, and if I like it, I will swap it for my story. You'll get full credit, of course, and maybe if I do it for you, I'll, like, link people to your channel if you want me to. Anyway, I hope to see some really good stuff out of you guys. I'm curious to see if any of you are actually interested in short stories or even writing in general. So feel free to contribute. And if you want to write something that doesn't quite follow my rules, just chuck it up anyway. I might like it enough that I don't care. Anyway, with this overly long part, I aim to be more or less 20 minutes exactly, I'm going to bid you all adieu. So, until next time everyone, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Da dun dun da 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 dun 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 da da.